I did not write this question, but you have fallen right into my hands. So there are two questions that we all ask. And if you meet somebody that says, I have never asked those questions, they're lying to you. The first one is, where did we all come from? Where did we all come from? How did we get here? What are we doing here? The second one is, are we alone in the universe? Are we alone? Are we the only sentient or nearly sentient species ever? Are we it? Or are there zillions of them out there? There's zillions of stars, or maybe a billion times that many. A billion zillion stars. And when I was in school, we would speculate, being conservative, we would say, well, what if there's a planet around 1 in every 100 stars? Well, now the evidence is overwhelming that there are about 10 planets, I mean, in order of magnitude factor of 10 reckoning, there are about 10 planets around every star. So that's 1,000 times more likely than was speculated even 35, 40 years ago. So if we were to find evidence of another civilization, I claim it would change the world. It would change the way each and every one of us thinks about being a living thing in the cosmos. Then about what does science on other planets have to do with this one? In the modern era, in the mid-1970s, James Hansen, who went on to be the head scientist at the Goddard Institute for Space Studies, which is part of NASA, was looking at Venus. And he reasoned, along with my old professor Carl Sagan and another guy named James Pollock, they reasoned that the reason Venus is so freaking hot is because of the greenhouse effect. So then they, as astronomers do, compared Venus to Mars to the Earth. These are terrestrial planets, that is to say rocky planets, relatively close to the sun. So in the modern era, climate change on Earth was discovered on Venus. So that is, to me, a fantastic reason to explore other planets. Furthermore, also in addition to continue, it's very reasonable to me that you all will be alive when evidence of life is found on Mars. And evidence of life, I'm imagining, would be fossilized bacterial mats. The word we use, I believe, in geology is stromatolite. There's some stromatolites in Colorado, but the big ones apparently are in Australia. I have yet to visit. And so these are ancient bacteria that are frozen up and turned to solid rock. If we were to discover those on Mars, I claim it would change the course of human history. Furthermore, also, wait, there's more, don't answer yet. Year before last, we found proof that there is running water on Mars every Martian spring. These, what geologists call recurring slope lineae, they're stripes going downhill. They're not rock slides, that's flowing water, presumed to be super salty Martian water that flows every Martian springtime. If we were to get up near one of those things with the right instrument, properly sterilized, carefully thought through, and looked really closely at the water, what would we find? Everywhere we look on Earth, everywhere there's dampness, just the slightest bit of water, there is something alive everywhere on Earth. And so it is very reasonable to me that you go up to Mars on a recurring sort of stream, and there's some microbe still making a living. That would just not shock you. And then the next question would be, does that microbe have DNA? Is it like us? Because what about this, peoples? We know for a fact that Mars was hit with an impactor about 3 billion years ago. Well, it's in space, there's no sound. Just it fell to Earth. Debris from Mars fell to Earth. You can buy Mars rocks from a company called the Meteorite Guy. Meteorite Man. You can buy a Mars rock if you're inclined. And the place to find them, if you've got time on your hands, is in Antarctica. You walk along, there's a place called the Allen Hills, and they call it the budget space probe because there's rocks on top of the ice. And ask yourself, if you find a rock on top of the ice, where would that come from? There is nothing anywhere. It came from the sky. And then they look at it carefully and they see this evidence of an impact, and they crack it open in a vacuum chamber, except in a vacuum. Bubbles come out that are the Martian atmosphere, the composition of the Martian atmosphere. So it is then furthermore, when we look at meteorites, these are asteroidal material that has fallen to the Earth's surface and picked up by people. Amino acids are intact. So apparently amino acids occur in nature somehow, and they can survive a trip through deep space. It's crazy. So what if you and I and everybody you've ever met, including my old boss, I was never sure really if he was one of us, what if we are all descendants of Martians? That would be and redo these planetary science investigations, everybody, for less than $2 billion a year. And I'll just tell you, in the federal budget scheme of things, that ain't no nothing. The NASA budget is a little under 5.5%, 0.5%. The planetary science budget is 9% of that. It's 0.4%, 0.04% of the federal budget. It's noise, but yet it is that line item within that line item where we make these amazing discoveries. So that's why we explore these planets. And wait, those 3 Earth or habitable zone planets are closer to their ultra-cool dwarf than is Mercury to our sun. Whoa. Whole nother